Welcome back to Firepower. Imagine walking into a gun store in 2026 and hearing this from the clerk behind the counter. You can only buy one hunting rifle for the rest of your life. One caliber, no backups, no second chances. Whatever you choose has to work everywhere, in every season, on every animal you might legally hunt in North America. Deer in thick timber, elk in the mountains, maybe even bear when things get serious. That question changes everything. Suddenly, this is no longer about hype, marketing, or what's trending on forums this year. It becomes about reliability, versatility, and real-world performance, because when you strip everything away, the best hunting caliber is not the most powerful or the newest. It's the one that never lets you down. Today we're answering that question, not by chasing numbers on a ballistic chart, but by looking at what actually works for American hunters in 2026. We're keeping most of the proven logic from the original discussion, but we're restructuring it to focus on real hunting scenarios, real limitations, and real decisions. And yes, we're changing the order of some calibers because context matters more than tradition. Before we start ranking anything, we need clear rules. If this is truly a one caliber for life decision, that caliber must meet a few non-negotiable criteria. It must be powerful enough for all common North American game. It must have recoil that an average hunter can manage without developing bad habits. Ammunition must be widely available across the country, even during shortages. It must come in multiple bullet weights and designs, and it must perform reliably in different terrains, from dense forest to open plains, from freezing cold to summer heat. With those rules in place, let's start working our way up. We begin at number 5 with a cartridge that helped define modern American deer hunting, the .270 Winchester. The .270 Winchester earned its reputation honestly. It shoots flat, hits hard enough for most medium-sized game, and has recoil that many hunters find comfortable. For decades, it has been a favorite for white-tailed deer, mule deer, and pronghorn. Out to long distances, it is forgiving and predictable, which is why so many hunters learn to shoot well with it. But here's the problem in a one caliber for life scenario. The .270 does one job exceptionally well, but it starts to lose flexibility when game gets bigger or conditions get rougher. Yes, it has taken elk and larger animals, but it does so with less margin for error than heavier calibers. Bullet selection is also more limited compared to true .30 caliber options. The .270 Winchester is excellent at what it was designed for, but excellence in one lane is not the same as versatility across all lanes. That's why it lands at number 5. Next, at number 4, we place the .300 Winchester Magnum. This might surprise some people because many assume the .300 Win Mag belongs at the top of any hunting list. And there's no denying its power. This cartridge delivers serious energy, deep penetration, and excellent performance at long distances. For elk, moose, and large game in open terrain, it is devastatingly effective. But raw power comes at a cost. The recoil of the .300 Win Mag is significant. For experienced shooters, it's manageable. For average hunters, especially those who only shoot a few times a year, it often leads to flinching and poor shot placement. Ammunition is also more expensive and less forgiving. In a world where ammo availability matters, that's not a small issue. The .300 Win Mag is a specialist tool. When you need maximum power at distance, it shines. But in a one caliber for life scenario, power without control becomes a liability. That's why it sits at number 4, not higher. At number 3, we have the 7mm Remington Magnum. This is the long-range hunter's dream. The 7mm Rem Mag shoots incredibly flat, retains velocity, and performs beautifully in open country. Western hunters love it for a reason. When distance is the primary challenge, few cartridges make things easier. However, this advantage comes with trade-offs. Recoil, while less than the .300 Win Mag, is still substantial. Ammunition is more expensive than standard calibers and not as universally available. Bullet weights, while effective, don't offer the same flexibility as heavier .30 caliber options when game size increases or angles become less favorable. The 7mm Remington Magnum is outstanding for a specific style of hunting. But versatility across every region and scenario is where it starts to fall behind. That's why it earns number 3. Now we move into the truly practical choices. At number 2 is the .308 Winchester. If logic alone decided this list, the .308 would be hard to beat. It is accurate, efficient, widely available, and relatively affordable. Ammunition can be found almost anywhere in the United States. Recoil is manageable. Bullet selection is excellent. And within normal hunting distances, it performs extremely well on deer, hogs, black bear, and even elk with proper shot placement. The .308 is a modern classic because it balances almost everything well. It doesn't excel at extreme long range like the Magnums, but it doesn't punish the shooter either. It works in short-action rifles, which are often lighter and more compact. For many hunters, the .308 is the most practical choice they will ever make. So why isn't it number 1? Because practicality is not the same as total flexibility. The .308 gives up some velocity and energy compared to longer cartridges. At extended distances or with heavier bullets, it starts to run out of steam sooner. For most hunters, this won't matter. But when we're talking about one caliber for every possible scenario, small differences add up. That brings us to number 1. The .30-06 Springfield. There is a reason this cartridge refuses to disappear, no matter how many new calibers come along. The 30-006 is not flashy. It's not new. It doesn't dominate marketing campaigns, but it does something no other cartridge on this list does quite as well. It adapts. The 30-06 can fire light bullets fast enough for deer and varmints, and heavy bullets powerful enough for the largest game in North America. It offers a wider range of bullet weights than almost any other hunting cartridge. Ammunition is available everywhere, from small-town hardware stores to major retailers. It performs well in virtually every climate and terrain. Compared to the .308, the .3006 offers higher velocity and more energy, especially with heavier bullets. Compared to Magnums, it delivers enough power without excessive recoil. It doesn't require specialized rifles, and it doesn't demand specialized shooters. Historically, the .30-06 has done everything. It served through multiple wars. It fed families during hard times. It has taken every legal game animal on this continent countless times. That history matters because it proves reliability across generations, not just seasons. In a one caliber for life scenario, forgiveness matters. The 30-006 is forgiving of shot angles, bullet selection, and human error. It gives hunters a margin that lighter or faster cartridges sometimes don't. And that is why it sits at number 1. This doesn't mean the other calibers are bad choices. Far from it. Each of them excels in the right context. The mistake many hunters make is assuming that excellence in one scenario equals excellence in all scenarios. The biggest myth in hunting calibers is that newer is always better. or that more power automatically means better results. Animals don't care about trends. They care about shot placement and sufficient energy. The best caliber is the one that allows you to shoot accurately, consistently, and confidently. In 2026, with changing ammo markets, varying terrain, and hunters of all experience levels, the .30-06 remains the safest all-around choice. Not because it is perfect, but because it is dependable in more situations than any other option. Trends will change. Ammo shortages will come and go. New cartridges will be announced and heavily promoted. But when everything is stripped down to fundamentals, the right caliber is the one that keeps working year after year. So now the question goes back to you. If you could only keep one hunting rifle for the rest of your life, which caliber would you choose? And why? Do you value long-range performance, recoil control, or maximum versatility? And does your hunting terrain change that answer? Share your thoughts in the comments. Real experience is always more valuable than theory. If you appreciate clear, practical discussions about hunting and firearms without hype, make sure you're subscribed to Firepower. We focus on what works, not what trends. Stay safe, hunt responsibly, and we'll see you in the next one.